Mr. President. Colleagues, I rise in opposition to AB 48. Colleagues, I have some good news and I have some bad news. So I'll start with the bad news. California's unrestricted net deficit grew by $43.8 billion in the last year. The unrestricted net deficit for June 30, 2017 was $169.5 billion, and for the year ended June 30, 2018, it's now $213.3 billion. The major reason for the increase, colleagues, was because the Government Accounting Standards Board now requires, finally, that unfunded actuarially accrued liabilities for retiree medical plans be included on the balance sheet. So in this last year, California's balance sheet is more miserable by another 25%. The good news is that there were 3 states that their unrestricted net deficits grew much more than ours. Illinois grew by $48.7 billion, New Jersey by $65.2 billion, and Texas by $79.5 billion. Traditionally, every year, California has had the largest unrestricted net deficit, always placing in 50th place. But this year, there's some good news. Because New Jersey had such a large increase, it is now at $214.1 billion. It just edged out California with the largest unrestricted net deficit, beat us out by a nose. So we're in 49th place, which is probably where we should be, being a 49er from Long Beach State, kind of cool. But Texas grew to $104.6 billion. So if you combine those 4 states, their unrestricted net deficits total $750 billion. Colleagues, California doesn't need more debt. And if it is paid out of the general fund, as opposed to Prop 98, the interest and principal payments will crowd out other critical program funding. Looking at $15 billion, you're probably looking at another $800 million a year in interest and principal payments. Colleagues, we've also seen the inverted yield curve arrive again. I've dealt with this in times past, and it portends a recession is on the horizon. Adding more bond payments, which are fixed costs to our budget, will be very imprudent at this time. Consequently, regardless of how good the cause is for borrowing, with too much debt, a volatile tax system, growing pension contribution costs, and a potential recession on the horizon, I would urge a no vote and advise that this legislature focus on paying cash for improvements and setting funds aside now for its future maintenance, just like we require homeowners associations to do. Thank you, Mr. President, and I urge a no vote on AB 48.